Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement. Hi, and welcome to the program, Agriculture on the Move. My name is Phillip Sydney. With me today is Mr. Jameson Alphonse, who is an aquaponics farmer, who is also an entrepreneur, and he is also a technician, and the list goes on and on. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Good. Well, people, when we talk about aquaponics, just a little, background. We're talking, when we mention aqua, we talk about, water, aqua life, fish, shrimps, and you talk about plants. They grow together in the same space, in the same environment. And so much so, they depend on each other. There is a symbiotic relationship between the two. And so you'll hear more about it as we go on, as Mr. Jameson will explain to you, and his involvement in that activity. So, comrade, how long have you been involved in this thing? What spurred you, what lured you to go into that?
Aquaponics, as you said, is a combination, a marriage pretty much of hydroponics and aquaculture. In hydroponics is where the plants feed in water, where you provide the plants with nutrients. However, in aquaponics, you're using fish waste to provide the nutrients for the plants. So aquaponics is basically where the fish waste, it provides the nutrients for the plant, and the plant in turn filter the water for the fishes. So the water is recycled in the system. It's an enclosed system. Yeah. So with reference to me going into aquaponics, one of my customers wanted me to grow lettuce, and I researched quite a bit of ways of growing lettuce, and I came across aquaponics, and I was very happy with it, and that's what led me into aquaponics. Okay. Before I started, I'd done a lot of research on aquaponics, lose a lot of sleep on it, and resulted me to my design and my system as it is.
And you really wanted to go into it?
By the time I came across it, yeah.
Okay.
What I like about it most is that it is organic, it is safe, it is free, no chemicals at all. Any chemicals used on the plant will affect the fish. Any chemicals or steroids used in the fish will affect the plant. So therefore, it's pretty much all organic.
How long have you been involved in this activity?
I started the aquaponic farm construction-wise late September 2015. Construction was complete by February 2016. My first set of fishes went in there by back end of May into June 2016. So pretty much a year in maturity. Okay.
Go through the actual construction of the structure, so that people can have an idea of what we're talking about.
Well, in terms of the structure, my structure is unique and different, as in the base of it is a water tank. So one of my challenges in agriculture is water. And that's always dawned on me, there is so much rainwater in abundance. So why don't harvest some of this? So prior to that, I rely on Wasco for water. And the first thing I wanted to do was pretty much harvest water. So now I have the water, then how do I use the water? The other question. So the base of it has an 80,000 gallon rainwater tank. If you from the front, you won't see it, but it's pretty much on the ground. I can walk in it, I'm 6 feet free, and I can walk in it without my head touching.
Whoa.
So that's
what's the capacity?
80,000 gallons.
Okay.
Yeah, the size is 40 feet by 60 feet, 7 feet deep.
Wow. And if you pump the water?
Yeah, and I pump the water, I use that same water in the aquaponics, and I pump the water in my other greenhouses and open field production.
The size of your structure, how were you able to go in, look in the size in terms of the economic benefits, the returns that you're supposed to get? Because I'm sure there is a base in terms of the minimum size of the structure as to your output.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a trouble part for me. I won't say trouble, but a lot of back and forth in terms of what is the best and how I can maximize the space the best as well. So I wanted to build the aquaponic in an enclosed structure, which is a greenhouse. So I had already selected a greenhouse 40 by 60. So now it's all about what I can do, how can I maximize the space inside that greenhouse. I reviewed the many different designs for aquaponics. I looked at the pipe structure, NFT with the A-frame. I looked at the structure with the deep water culture with the floating raft, and also the media bed. But the media bed was the least favorable, as in it did not allow me a lot of planting space. So with the floating raft, I decided, okay, I can go vertical beds. So hence why I go vertical beds, maximizing planting space per square foot in essence.
Okay. So how many, so you in tilapia alone and lettuce?
Well, that is the plant, tilapia and lettuce. But currently, I also have shrimps in the system. I have 2 beds dedicated for shrimps in the system. Yeah.
Okay. So how many tilapias do you have in relation to lettuce?
Yeah. Well, in terms of per gallon, aquaponics is pretty much measured per gallon of water, right?
Okay.
I have 4 fish tanks. Each fish tank is like 3,000 gallons of water. In all, I have the fishes in a one fish or 1 pound per gallon, starting off. Obviously, some will die, so then I'll take it down to a 0.5 or point something per gallon. So in all, I started with 3,000 fishes in each tank, and that went down maybe around 2,000, roughly over 2,000 in each of the tanks right now. Now, the square feet, the growing area per water, usually recommended 2 to 1 or sometimes 2.3 to 1. So my ratio is pretty much a little over 2 to 1, more like 2.5 to 1.
Okay. Now, take us through your day-to-day management of the operation.
Well, I'm not in the farm every day because I do employed in the private sector. I work in the telecom sector.
Okay.
So I do have workers. Well, one of them specifically, Natius, he is specifically works in the system.
Okay.
In terms of taking care of the plants, the fish. Well, in terms of the fish, my mother pretty much is the only one feeding the fish because it's a passion for her. She likes doing that.
Okay.
So often when I'm there, she'll insist that if I'm on the farm, she's not feeding the fish. If I'm there, I have to feed my fishes. So that's all right. I feed them, and occasionally Natius feed, but predominantly my mother feed the fishes.
Okay.
But Natius take care of the plants and whatnot.
So, so how many times do you feed a day?
I feed the fishes once a day, preferably in the afternoon when the temperature is a lot hotter. The fish is more active and they consume the food faster.
So much faster.
Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of the amount you feed, what was the ratio?
Well, I feed based on the amount of plant in the system, around 60 grams per square meter of plants.
Okay. And then in terms of the number of plants, of lettuce plants, how many lettuce plants did you deal at any time?
Well, the system is not yet complete.
Okay.
Pretty much, I allowed the first year phase to maturity, and also while getting the finances to complete it. But at any point, I have 2 beds of lettuce, which capacity of close to 900 plants.
900.
900 lettuce plants.
Okay. And then, so you see for the year, how many batches you probably have?
In aquaponics, the plant grows faster than in soil-based agriculture.
Okay.
I have not experienced all that. I don't add in terms of nutrients to the plants like magnesium and whatnot, chelated iron to mitigate the deficiencies. So given the system not mature, there will be deficiencies in nutrients because the system is not fully mature in terms of to provide all those nutrients by itself. Okay. But also, bearing in mind I'm allowing the system to mature, I don't add them, and I pretty much, in some cases I don't even sell it. I give it out. My mom sells some by the market, but it's not for sale at this very moment. Okay,
we're due for our first break. When I come back, I want to ask you about the cost of setting up such an elaborate enterprise. You're watching Agriculture on the Move. Back soon.
Bio means life. Biodiversity is the variety of life all around us. All plants, animals, and microbes, and the places where they live. We need to protect biodiversity so that we can continue to enjoy all the resources it provides. Fresh air, clean water, food, clothing, shelter, and recreation. Biosafety ensures that we protect biodiversity against any negative impacts of GMOs while using it safely for national development.
For more information on the Biosafety Project and how you can be involved, call 451-8746 or 722-9252 Log on to lc.biosafetyclearinghouse.net or join the mailing list slubiosafety@govt.lc.
Welcome back to the program. With me, Mr. Jameson Alphonse, who is an aquaponics farmer. And he, of course, that farm is established in Choisey, a place called
Waden.
Waden. The Phillip Waden one.
I'm not quite sure the history of the name.
But let me tell you, your mom and your parents were farmers.
Yeah, my parents were farmers, the entire generation. They were also fishermen as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where there's a combination.
Yeah, well, when I first went into agriculture around 7 years ago, I wanted to improve on the way they do agriculture. That's when I started with greenhouse. I started 200-feet greenhouses. I plant over the years predominantly tomatoes, and I've able to maintain tomato year-round.
Okay.
That's providing we have water all the time and good climate. But that started affecting when water became an issue, because I rely on Wasco water for my agriculture.
Okay.
And you cannot use the water for agriculture, Wasco rationing during dry periods.
Yes.
And that indeed affect me, which drive me into building the water tank.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
You were self-taught, right?
Yeah, I'm very much self-taught. Well, I can say thanks to Google.
Okay. Yes. So you never left St. Lucia. Like there's another young lady, Ms. Moyes, from Kareli. I think that was the first one ever established there in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
I had her on my program some time ago, and she too was self-taught. And not only that, she went, I think, to one of the islands to get.
She went to BVI.
To BVI.
At the University of the BVI.
Great, and then she's doing a great job.
Yeah,
You know, so I think that so fast. I think there are only two of you. I'm not sure of any others.
There are a few smaller ones, but I think
ones.
commercial, the two of us, yeah.
Okay, in terms of cost, I'm sure when you got yourself involved, you recognized that there was a cost factor to it. Was it challenging for you?
Yes, it was very challenging. Challenging in terms of raising the costs. Given that the operation is still young, it hasn't has its own cash flow. The banks are not favoring it in terms of making it easy to get a loan. So
Wow.
I had to creatively create a couple loans and also get some aid from some angels and to get it where it is.
Okay. So overall, how much would you say an establishment like this would cost?
So for the water tank itself, like I said, 30 by 60 and 7 feet deep, that costs in around 180,000.
Whoa.
And the aquaponics setup with the greenhouse, pretty much matching that as well. So
What?
it's in the region of over 350 thereabout.
Wow.
Cost so far for that.
So far.
Yeah.
And you expect to be
And I'm expecting to invest some more to
invest more
complete
into,
it.
more
Yeah.
into it. Okay. So in
And
go ahead.
And to add to that, well, the construction, I supervise the construction and family members worked in it. So I save quite a bit on labor costs as
Okay.
well.
So it,
And I also,
or else it will cost more.
it would have cost more. And also ICA helped me through Slaffy getting some of the materials duty free.
Well, this is what I want to come to ask you. In terms of the government institutions, say, for example, the Extension Division, which is agriculture, and also the Department of Fisheries, what sort of assistance you got from them?
Department of Fisheries, I'm not sure if it falls under fisheries, but the Union Aquaculture Farm,
Yes.
they have been very
Yes.
open and helpful.
Okay.
They supply me with all the fingerlings and
fingerlings.
also the streams as well.
Okay.
So they have been on my farm on more than, I think, twice.
Okay.
So we have an open relationship. If I have any queries, I can call Junior, who assists quite
Okay.
well, and also Kelvin. The guys there are really
Okay.
open and helpful.
Great.
But-
There's supposed to be a balance in your pH because that system has to be monitored on a regular basis. So take us through that.
When I first started the system, all literature about it says that your pH needs to be at a certain level, let's say 6.7, 6.8 thereabout. To my surprise, our water here is very alkaline. Even the Wasco water, the pH in the water here is over 8. I use river water to start, like 8.3.
Okay.
I put so many things try to bring the pH down. Citric acid, a lot of lime juice, citrus acid, still not taking it down. So in a blog with one of the renowned aquaponic blogs with, I think it is Friendly Aquaponics, he said just drop the fishes in there. I did that. There were a lot of casualties in terms of getting the system balanced, but the pH over time balanced itself out.
Wow, that's nature.
Nature. But my pH is still not where I want it to be. It's still in the 7, 7.3, 7.4, sometimes 7.5. But optimally, for the plant need a pH of 6.8, they're about 6.7, 6.8. So when I get to that point, then the plants can grow faster. But but the system pretty much balance it out by itself.
So you have to monitor the pH on a regular basis to ensure that it does not go beyond and below.
Yep, absolutely.
So what happens if it goes beyond below? You have mortality?
I do have, you do. I do have solutions to pretty much adjust it, to send it up and down. In my system has a lot of water. The more water you have, the harder it is to manage the pH as well.
Wow.
And also, the slower it is for the pH to move.
Okay.
So I, most of the times, allow it to happen naturally. Now, you talk about pH, but in aquaponics, there are other bacteria you need to monitor in the system. For example, you need to monitor the ammonia level, the nitrites, and also the nitrates. I measure all those things when I started daily, then moved to weekly, then fortnightly, but at least every fortnight I monitor it.
Okay.
If I have a spike in, let's say, ammonia, for example, I will get dead fishes. Sometimes by the time I realize I have some dead fishes, we check the ammonia is high. So what I do, I throw some of the water and add new water into the system.
So you have an apparatus to monitor this?
No, I have a test kit. It's not automated, but you have to manually do it.
Oh, okay.
And I record all those testings.
All right. The people you're working with you, so you have 2 of them working with you. You of course, you train them by yourself.
Yeah, I did. I actually took them before I started by Sharon's farm. So Sharon, actually, the first aquaponics farm I saw. Okay. And she's great about it.
She is fantastic.
I took them there, they saw it, but they excited about it, seeing the fish and the plants. But also Natias, I took him to Antigua as well to see the operations of 2 fully functional farm in this green 7 years, Lincoln farm 3 years, and that was sponsored by Propel.
Okay.
That was actually
so in addition to the ministry's involvement with you, there are other agencies that work with you.
Sure. AICA has supported me tremendously. They helped me in bringing the material for the aquaponics duty free. Okay. That's through SLAFI. I'm a member of SLAFI.
You're a member of SLAFI, okay.
Actually, the vice president. SLAFI is the St. Lucia Forum for Youth in Agriculture.
Right.
We're pretty much promoting entrepreneurship in agriculture for young people. We have a membership drive. We like new young members to come, and there are ways SLAFI can assist, and that's one of the ways they assist me.
And the other thing too, what I am happy about is that this is supposed to spur young people to get in, especially the graduates from Sir Arthur Lewis, where the government cannot employ everybody. And this is one of the things I'm thinking here, that, you should be innovative. And I mean, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, because you are there, Ms. Moise is there. The ministry, Department of Fisheries, they have a small research area for that, a demonstration plot right at the back of us there, that if you are interested, you can go and see and ask questions, and you can get into it. I think they also have about maybe 3 or 4 persons trained, in the production of aquaponics production. So I'm thinking, that's the way to go. Young people have to get involved.
Whilst I totally agree with you, it is much easier said than done.
Yeah, I know.
Aquaponics is very capital intense in terms of setting up. Most of those young people don't have the means,
capital, yes,
don't have the capital, and to gaining access to it is another trouble. Yeah. So suggestion there would be that the government allows facilities so that the young people can access to set up such systems.
Great.
But I believe this is the way forward. We need to go climate smart.
We need to go.
We cannot continue growing crops the same way.
That's right. Great.
This is why I change, and I'm adopting into those.
Great. Very good. We are due for our second break. Stay tuned.
What is biodiversity?
When you look at biodiversity, it's all around.
I think of biological and I think of diversity.
What is biosafety?
Safety measures for our foods, our products, etc.
Biodiversity is the variety of life. Biosafety, on the other hand, involves the management of products of biotechnology, such as GMOs and LMOs. Biosafety seeks to protect St. Lucia's biodiversity. The terms biodiversity and biosafety are not interchangeable. Get familiar with these terms. Observe the biodiversity around you, the changing environment of food production and sustainable growth. Do your part. Visit our websites and stay tuned to this station for more information on the National Biosafety Framework.
Welcome back. Jameson, in terms of marketing, because I mean, you cannot go into something and don't expect return, so you need to ensure that you have assured market. What's your marketing arrangement with your fish, your shrimp, and also your lettuce?
Well, marketing, the investment is market driven. One of my customers pretty much wanted me to grow lettuce for them after supplying tomatoes for a few years. And so marketing is not really an issue. I'm sure most people eat my produce on a daily basis. You get it in the frequent fast foods and hotels. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but I predominantly sell to restaurants and hotels.
Okay. So your tilapia does not go to...
Well, in terms of the tilapia, I haven't sell any tilapia. I plan to retail them myself.
Oh,
pretty
okay.
much have a weekend vibes, like where I have grill, fry, whatever, prepared different ways and introduce people
where is
to
that?
this.
Down?
Yeah, well, right next to the farm.
Wow, that'd be great. That's a good lamb to go down.
Similar to how Boyo has it.
Right.
So that's my aim for it.
Okay, very interesting.
One of the farms in Antigua pretty much doing the same. He sells tilapia out to people, but he retails it himself.
Okay.
He sell it fry or
grilled.
No, he don't grill it. Fry or steam.
Oh, okay.
But he plan to sell it grill or fry.
All right, great.
And different little side dishes, yeah.
Jameson, I never knew of you. You were operating below the radar, right? All of a sudden, in the Chamber Awards, I'm hearing and seeing this person, Aquaponics in St. Lucia. I say, how come? I mean, where? Down in Schwaze? I say, I have to find you. I don't know what's happening. So, what happened? How were you able to get this Chamber Awards?
Well, the Chamber Awards, it started with me and a buddy of mine, right? Where I said that the Chamber Awards is Chamber of Industry, Commerce and Agriculture. So my thing is there should be an award specific for agriculture. And we go back and forth like they don't need to and say like I can compete with the other awards. And we had a couple back and forth and I decided, okay, I will submit my application for 3 awards. Also had a chat with Brian on it.
Right.
And to my surprise, I won 3 awards.
Wow. So what are the 3 awards?
I won the Green Award, I won the Idea of the Year, and the Prime Minister's Award.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
The Prime Minister Award is for innovation.
Innovation.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even from when they interviewed me and they set up, everybody like the setup and it was blown away. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
One of the takeaway and one of the things I like about it is that someone in agriculture doing something small can compete and win against the major corporate businesses because competed against all the corporate entities for the various categories and was still able to win the awards.
Very interesting.
Which was good for me, good for agriculture, good for youth in agriculture.
Good for youth. That's the point.
Yeah.
And the other thing, so if you're looking at climate change and to be climate, smart agriculture, that's one of the things that are being pushed right now. And the other thing, you can establish that project, in a housing area. For example, that's where Moise has hers, in Kaweli, right? And it's not a nuisance to the neighborhood as opposed to going to poultry or piggery, So I'm saying here, this is the only challenge I mentioned earlier on, but how do you see the lending institutions, being born again to assist young persons who, like yourself?
I think the intervention needs to start with government because the lending institution wants collateral security for all their lending. Yeah. And I think government is the agency that can lend that. We have a development bank. Why don't allow the development bank to facilitate such? And I think pretty much that's where it should start from government setting the policy and the benchmark so that to facilitate that.
But in your opinion, I mean, okay, you're coming from school, you're a trained agriculturist.
Yeah, correction here, I'm not.
Not you, I'm talking about you.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, and you want to get into agriculture, aquaponics, hydroponics, the works, okay? You do not have resources, you don't have land, right? You do not have the financial resources, but you have the knowledge. How do you see, government together with SLDB assisting young persons going into agriculture? How? What formula that can be used to ensure that work, to actually, start that program?
Well, to begin with, you need to have the land for sure. You could, whether either lease land or find land. Government has a program ongoing now, the YEP project,
That's right.
which provides young entrepreneurs,
Okay,
young
so
farmers
there's land.
some land. There is land. So through that, then you need the access to funds.
That's right.
I think one of the things that not practiced a lot in St. Lucia is more like where you get crowd financing, where people come in and contribute. And also, I think we need to create the culture of opening up for people to invest in your business. You have an idea, you invest in me, and you share the returns.
Right.
I think this is one of the way forward.
And the other thing too, they could, you have this land bank project that's just about to start. There are a lot of idle lands, especially in the Rosy area, all right? There are farmers who, of course, because of age, they have given it up, and the lands are just, they're idle. The second phase of the YEP program, that's one of the things I think the minister is looking at, is to see whether they can engage those farmers with those lands to have the youngsters go in there, partnership, a lease agreement, so that they can farm. But that is one aspect. The other hurdle is finance.
Yeah, finance will always be an issue because in any smart agriculture enterprise you go into, there will be the capital hurdle. Because you need to, smart agriculture, you need to invest to do it in a sense. It's not just a matter of plowing the easy agriculture, plowing the land and plant seeds. Then that is. But once you go in smart agriculture, whether you use irrigation, drip line, whatever it is you do to try to be smart, you need to invest in doing so.
Going back to your project in terms of the pest management of your lettuce, you have any problems with that?
No, don't have any issues. Although I've had ants in the system. In talking to one of the guys from Slaffy, they actually manufacture wood vinegar, which I've used in my system and works quite well. I've had a few white flies that manages it, but like I said, I'm not producing commercially as yet to have bulk and control. But there are safe pesticides, organic pesticides used. For example, neem oil is one of them. And
garlic barrier.
Garlic barrier.
Yes.
Yep. And wood vinegar is actually real good. I use it. I also use it in my open agriculture, which is phenomenal. I've also used algas. Kudos to Dujon.
To Dujon, yes.
And it was not harmful. It was not harmful to the fishes.
The fish. Right. Yeah. So what's the way forward now? I mean, you have not, gotten to the maximum use and to get your returns. So how soon you're hoping to get your maximum return from your investment?
Well, for quite a while, every month is like this month. But I'm currently in dialogue with a financial institution and hoping that can turn around real fast. They have been very flexible in entertaining me, or should I say supporting me. I've come up with some form of collateral security which they can use. So I'm hoping that hopefully this month it can complete, and then I can move maybe within 2-3 months, get to maximum production.
What are the other major challenges you have?
Heat, because of the way the greenhouse is designed and the beds pretty much vertical one over the other. You find the upper bed, the temperature there is really high. So I need to control the temperature within the greenhouse. I also have issues with the lower beds or the beds in between where you find not enough light. So you find the lettuce bolt in there.
So why don't you use saran netting instead of the plastic cover?
Well, I try to have a total control environment with, with the saran netting, it's sort of more shade, so you find the bottom beds wouldn't get enough light. So with the plastic, although I had a clear plastic, which is pretty much around 80-90% sunlight going through. I changed that to a darker one, a white plastic, which is 55% light going through. But there is still a heat issue.
Any final words from you, sir?
Well, in terms of final words, I says aquaponics is one of the way to go. It's smart agriculture. We just need our financial institution, government to support it and enable young entrepreneurs like me who wants to invest in such a venture.
Jameson, I wish you success and I wish you to maximize your investment and hope that you, over the next 5 years, you should be driving the 2 Audis.
Well, not necessarily. I'll be more interested in expanding
and training other young persons.
To more locations.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, very good, very
absolutely.
good.
And certainly, if we can get assistance from the financial institution and also government, where they can help with concessions and whatnot to facilitate this.
Very good.
Because that drive certainly need facilitation from the powers that be.
Definitely. Thank you again for being here, sir. You have been watching Agriculture on the Move, of course, Mr. Jameson Alphonse, who is an entrepreneur. And of course, he's a technical person, as you could see and you've heard. And he's going places. And that should inspire you young persons out there, you young first school leavers, to get into agriculture. Feel free. Speak to him. He's going to give you all what is required for you to establish your own. Thank you for viewing. And remember to eat fresh. St. Lucia's best. I'm Phillip Sydney. Goodbye. Thank you, sir.
Yep. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, man. All the best. All the
Absolutely.
best. Yeah.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.